first of all like to request that the staff presentation, the first presentation, be loaded back up again because I'd like to refer to specific slides in my questions. I
Okay.
was going to buy some time and move for a second round of questions to buy myself some time, but thank you to Councillor Kirby-Yung for asking for that. So staff, can we please have the presentation back up as quickly as possible? And the slide that I would first like to go to is the one that shows the council priorities. Thank you, Colin Knight. Yeah, right up towards the beginning. That's the one. Okay. So my questions really start from here because this is the budget paradigm, and the council priorities as articulated here, I would argue, are really a reflection, and whoever that is, please mute, of the vision plans. We've seen interlocking plans that were approved over the decade before this council was elected. So that each of these areas were articulated as council priority areas on top of the traditional responsibilities of local government, which are characterized here as delivering of quality core services that meet residents' needs. So my question then is, as we examine the budget going forward, are we specifically focusing on the areas of council priorities, which I would argue are nice to have, but not essential in the way that quality core services are? And to what extent, since these are being characterized as council priorities, will council be able to make decisions about where reductions could be made in each one of these four categories?
Councillor, maybe I can take a first cut at that. So just to confirm, I think first of all that these are you referenced the previous council. These are priorities that were articulated by this council during the term. It's entirely the discretion of this council to revise those and to prioritize resources within or amongst these different priorities. So absolutely, that's council's call. We are doing our best to respond to these priorities as they've been articulated to us, and they are the focus of our budget planning as we go forward. But just to confirm, these are the priorities that were set by this council. And yes, the notion of reducing investment within any of these categories is absolutely up to council, and we would be providing options in that regard.
Not to debate that these didn't come out of the blue with this council. They are extensions of what had been done before. But my point is really that we need to separate the council priorities from our core responsibilities. And I want to ensure that there is going to be a mechanism for council to go through this systematically. And I think what I'm hearing from the city manager is, yes, that will be the case.
I think we would anticipate a process like we followed in 2021, where council would have, we would do our best to give council detail and provide options for the council to consider, both in terms of any additional investment or potentially to reallocate or reprioritize funding as well.
Well, clearly we're not in a business as usual circumstance and are going to be hard pressed. Just a general philosophical question. Staff are our professional advisors that are giving us their best professional advice. Are we taking that into consideration and balancing against the politics and council priorities? It's council that are making political decisions. It's staff, professional staff that are making professional recommendations to us. How are those two competing demands being managed by staff in this process?
I would say, Councillor, to that, ultimately the decision of allocating resources is one of the core roles that council plays. We do provide recommendations, both in terms of what's possible within the revenue envelope that city has, essentially that council has to work with, but the determination of where to invest those monies, that is really council's job. So I don't see that there's tension there. We as staff, our job is to respond to that. I do believe there's obviously very difficult trade-offs, and that's council's job. But I don't see that there's the characterization of a tension there.
Okay, thank you. I'll put myself back on the queue.